So at this juncture, we will discuss VAT exempt transactions. Okay, so sunod-sunod yung discussions natin ha. Yung mga topic para yung momentum natin dire-diretso. So, kinds of sales, we have VATable. There are subject to 12%. Domestic sales to, deemed sale transactions, sale to government, local sales by RBEs, yung mga sale of service by non-residents, right? Yung sale of digital service yan. Tapos yung mga export sales, ngayon naman, VAT exempt sales. So what's the difference? When we say VAT exempt sales, dito kasi the rate is zero. Pag sinabing rate is zero, vatable yan, pero zero ang rate. Dito, walang zero-zero na ginagamit. Basta exempt yan. Ibig sabihin, wala tayong i-impose na VAT. So example, gross sales natin, 1 million. Kung vatable yan, 12%, magmumultiply tayo ng 12%. So 1.2 million. Okay? Ito yung ibig sabihin ng subject sa 12%. Tapos merong zero rate naman. Kung 1 million yan, export sales yan, times zero rate yan. So, ang ating output tax ngayon, zero. Kung exempt naman, gross sales natin, 1 million, okay, edi wala kang i-impose, wala tayong output tax din. Okay, ganyan lang kasimple. Now, what's the difference? The difference lies in the input tax. Kasi kapag meron tayong input galing output tax, meron tayong, halimbawa, bumili tayo ng goods, 500,000. Meron tayo, so 500,000, lagyan natin ng picture. Yan. Times 12%. Okay? 120,000 lang pala to. 120,000. Kasi 1 million lang. So, 60,000 ang input. Para ma-picture nyo lang kung paano ginagawa. Okay? Kapag 12% tayo, ang VAT payable natin, 60,000. Ima-minus mo lang kasi yan. Dito, since zero rate yan, meron tayong overpayment na 60,000. Dito, yung 60,000 na yan, overpayment din. Pero ang treatment dito, cost or expense yan. Ibig sabihin sa income tax ito. Ito, yung 60,000, pwedeng refund yan or TCC o kaya credit against output. Tulad nito, ito, credit natin yan, binawas natin yan, tax credit siya against output. So, ganyan ang 12, ganyan ang 0 at saka exempt. Again, for zero-rated sales, the overpayment, the input tax attributable to zero-rated sales, can be refunded, applied for TCC, or can be credited against output tax. Unlike in exempt sales, the input tax attributable to exempt sales is treated as part of cost or expense. Okay? Now, bakit siya tinawag na VAT exempt transactions? Ba't hindi VAT exempt sales? Simple lang. Kung sale, pwede kasi maging sale yan or importation. Ibig sabihin, nagbenta tayo or nag-import tayo ng ano? Imagine mo lang, agricultural marine food products in their original state. Tapos, even if they have undergone the simple processes of preparation, preservation for the market, such as when we sold or imported these food products, ang ginawa natin, ayan, freeze natin, pinatuyuan natin, binalatan natin, inasinan natin, pinakuluan natin, inihaw natin, pinausukan natin. Kahit na yan ay binalot pa sa shrink wrapping in plastics, vacuum packing, o kaya mga Tetra Pak, simple process pa rin yan, VAT exempt pa rin yan. Pero, tandaan mo, sale of roasted meat products without undergoing process is VAT exempt. However, the sale thereof in a facility where roasted chicken or chickens are offered as a menu to customers who would dine in are subject to VAT. Very simple. Ito yung inihaw na manok na binibenta sa labas. Okay, yung pagbudbud doon, paglagay ng mga konting rekado, 'di ba? Parang inano lang 'yan, marinated lang 'yan, eh. Ta's nilagyan ng konting kung paminta-paminta or whatever. So, simple process daw 'yan. Kapag binenta 'yan sa mga ganyan, VAT exempt. Pero kapag 'yan ay inoffer as menu to customers na merong dine-in, 12%. Bakit? Restaurant na 'yun. Okay? So, gano'n lang kasimple. Eto naman, ano pa? Ano yung binenta natin? Ano yung in-import natin? Kanina, agricultural. Eto kanina, agricultural at saka marine, isda, food products. O dito, anong binenta natin? Livestock and poultry, yung mga baboy at saka mga manok mismo. Generally used as or yielding or producing foods for human consumption. Whether patay or buhay na manok yan. Or ano pa? Yung mga breeding stock and genetic materials ng mga ano? Yung mga agricultural products, yung mga baboy, yung mga 'di ba, minsan yung mga baboy tsaka mga manok. Merong mga ano, pinapakain diyan mga genetic materials, breeding stock para lumaki, para tumaba, para maging malakas, para hindi masasakitin. Yan, breeding stock and genetic materials. Ay, VAT exempt ang sale at saka importation. Ano pa? Nagbebenta tayo ng mga meat products, baboy, manok, etc. Ng mga gulay at saka ng mga prutas. VAT exempt din yan. 'Di ba? Bakit? Agricultural products yun, eh. So, ano pa yung mga examples ng agricultural product? Bigas, mais, ah, raw cane sugar, okay, molasses, ordinary salt, ordinary nakaano to ito raw, hindi dapat refined. Ito ordinary, hindi dapat iodized. Pag iodized na yan, pag refined na yung sugar, vatable na yan. Tsaka mga copra. Hindi ito exclusive list basta agricultural product, cocoa, cacao. O di, buko, VAT exempt. Agricultural product yan eh. Marine food products naman, mga isda. Yung mga malaking hipon, maliit na hipon, medium na hipon, talaba, yung tahong, medyo malaking talaba, maliit na mahabang isda, ayan, eels. Livestock, baka, lalaking baka, ano ang Tagalog ng calves? Kambing, baboy, kuneho, sheep, basta sheep at saka calves. Basta livestock yan. Diba? Producing, yielding, foods for human consumption. Poultry, ayan. Mga manok, okay, at saka pato, bibi, turkey, pabo. Yung mga sale ng mga yan, VAT exempt, pati yung importation. Sige, dito tayo. Live case to. ABC Corp, NRFC. ABC Corp, NRFC is engaged in the sale of meat products like chicken and other meat products. Nagbenta kay DEF. So, ibig sabihin, buyer si DEF, seller siya. Diba? Seller siya. Okay, nagbenta papunta dito ng manok, $50,000. Si DEF naman, binenta kay XYZ, yung produkto niya. Supermarket to, supermarket. Tapos si XYZ naman, binenta ito sa consumer. Di ba? Food chain. The sale by ABC to DEF, ibig sabihin importation din to. Importation. Nag-import si DEF. Di ba? The sale by ABC to DEF is exempt from VAT. Sa yung pag-import ni ABC kay DEF, exempt sa VAT yan. Sir, bakit? Agricultural product, original state. Nung binenta naman ni DEF kay XYZ yan, VAT exempt pa rin. Bakit? Agricultural product nga, SXYZ, papunta sa consumer, VAT exempt, agricultural product pa rin. Paano pag niluto na ng customer yan at binenta? General rule, subject sa 12% VAT. Bakit? General rule is registration is VAT. So kung registration yan is VAT, patable yan. Pag binenta. Kaya nga pag dating sa restaurant, karinderya, dapat may tax na yan. Ito tayo. Nicanors engaged in livestock selling. Sila yung mga supplier ng malalaking fast food chains. Ang tawag diyan, agricultural contract growing. So nagbebenta ng mga chicken wholesale kay ABC Corp. Yan ang brand name. Halimbawa, Handox Chicken. Yung isa naman, XYZ, Biliwag Chicken. Tapos si ABC, okay, si Handox, binenta sa publiko yung kaniyang mga inihaw na manok. XYZ, binenta ang kanyang chicken sa facility ay nag-offer as menu to customers, merong dine-in. Ulit. Ano ang benta ni Nicanor kay ABC Corp? Di ba't exempt? Bakit? Agricultural product yan livestock yan the sale by Handox to consumers, take out to, hindi ito dine-in, hindi ito offered as a menu, o they exempt. Pero si Biliwag Chicken, na meron daw dine-in, batable 12%. Ganyan lang kasimple to. Another example, si Nicanor ay isang mangingisda. Okay, yung kanyang mga nahuling mga marine food products binenta sa lugar na kung saan doon ang bentahan. Okay, si Inday ay isang tindera sa palengke at bumili ng isda. Binenta yung kanyang binili kay Jose na isang engaged in restaurant business. Binenta ni Jose ang kanyang niluto. So the sale by Nicanor, the fisherman, to Inday, the wet market stall owner, is exempt. Bakit? Marine product. Yung pagbenta ni Inday sa palengke kay Jose na isang operator ng restaurant, exempt. Bakit? Agricultural product. Yung benta naman ni Jose to customer is, niluto mo na to. Hindi na yan original state. Therefore, subject na yan sa 12% ba as a rule. Sir, bakit is a rule? Kasi may exception. Example, ang buyer is senior citizen or PWD, di ba? But exempt yun. See? Okay, now, ano pa yung mga VAT exempt transactions? Kapag tayo ay nagbenta or nag-import ng tingnan mo, yung letter A, agricultural marine food products. Yung letter B, yung mga fertilizer, seedlings, fingerlings, related sa letter A. Okay, yung mga feeds ng mga fish, prawn, livestock. Kita mo yan, related. Hindi lang yung feeds, pati yung ingredients ng ginagamit sa mga feeds. VAT exempt yan kapag binenta mo o kaya kapag in-import mo. Pero kapag specialty feeds yan, intended for race horses, fighting cocks, okay, yung mga panabong na manok na mas mahal pa ng tatay mo kaysa sa'yo, aquarium fish, zoo animals, and other animals considered as pets, 12%. Kapag ang feeds is capable of human consumption, okay, subject to 12% VAT yan. How do you know if the feeds are capable of human consumption? Try them. Kapag bumula yung bibig mo, VAT exempt. Kapag hindi, 12% yan. Okay? Joke lang yung itry mo. Hindi mo kailangan itry. May certification yan from Bureau of Animal Industry. So pag nakalagay sa gilid ng sako, certified by Bureau of Animal Industry, not capable for human consumption, VAT exempt yan. Clear? So, ayan. Tignan mo yung gilid ng sako ng mga feeds, etc. Makikita mo yan. Kung walang ganon, malamang peke yun. Or di dumaan sa gobyerno for right process. Okay, what else? Ito naman, walang sale, importation. Ikaw ito. Ikaw yan. Nasa Pilipinas ka. Tapos, nag-migrate ka sa Canada. Ikaw to. Ngayon, nainip ka, umuwi ka na ng Pilipinas, dala-dala mo ang mga gamit mo. Returning from abroad, and NRC is coming to resettle yung lahat ng gamit mo. So, in-import mo yan. So, yung importation ng gamit mo, VAT exempt. Basta yan ay mga personal household effects. Ito rin, no? Kasi paano kung yung mga ibang goods are not exempt? Magbabayad ka ng VAT. Okay? Dito tayo. Same kwento. Nung ikaw ay umuwi ng Pilipinas, ikaw na to or pamilya mo, dala-dala mo ang mga professional instruments, implements, tools of trade, etc. Damit mo, mga alaga mong hayop, mga gamit sa bahay, ikaw ito. Okay? Or kasama mo yung pamilya mo, or yung pamilya mo lang, or yung mga descendant mo. Okay? Na nasa ibang bansa kayo, ha? Ngayon, you are now referred as overseas Filipinos and then you return. And then you bring all of these items in quantities and of the class suitable to the profession, rank, or position of the persons importing said items. And ibig sabihin, halimbawa, dala-dala mo yung mga personal and household effects. 10 rep ang dala mo, ay hindi pwede. Bakit? Commercial yan. Mahahalata kang commercial. Okay, yung mga professional instruments, 20 gitara yung dala mo. 20 kung ano man ang dala mong mga professional instruments. Hindi pwede. Kailangan suitable to the profession only. Walang inilagay kung ilan eh. So this is very subjective. Okay? Dapat patunayan mo na yan ay mga for your own use only and not for barter or for sales. Dala-dala mong sabon, corned beef, naku, 10 box, hindi pwede yan. Pati yung kasama mong tao, no? Yung kasama mo, kapamilya mo, or arriving within a reasonable time. Walang nilagay kung hanggang kailan. Okay? Pero, syempre, may upon production of, kailangan meron kang evidence that you are actually coming to settle. Kaya dala-dala mo lahat ng yan, ayaw mo na eh. Dito ka na sa Pilipinas eh. Okay? Pero kapag ang mga dala-dala mo ay mga yan, vehicles, dala mo sa sasakyan mo, may dala kang barko, may dala kang aeroplano, okay, machineries and other equipment, doktor ka, meron kang pang CT scan, ay hindi pwede yan. Okay? So, the importation will be subjected to 12% VAT. Okay? Ito naman, yung mga services na to, kaya VAT exempt kasi may dahilan. Ikaw ay seller of goods and service, hindi ka lumampas ng 3 million. VAT exempt ang sale mo. So, halimbawa, ang gross sales mo 1 million lang. Hindi ka nag-VAT register. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka optional registered. Ikaw yung hindi matigas ang ulo. So, ngayon, yung sale mo, subject yan sa percentage tax. So therefore, hindi yan pwedeng masubject sa VAT, kaya VAT exempt yan. Ito naman, common carrier ka eh. Ikaw yung jeep, ikaw yung bus, ikaw yung tricycle driver, ikaw yung taxi. You cannot add 12% VAT on the fare because the services are VAT exempt and they are subject to other percentage tax, yung common carriers tax. Yung mga services rendered by international air shipping carriers, di ba? Sabi natin, papunta kang Canada, sinakyan mo, Air Canada. VAT exempt yan. Bakit? Subject kasi yan sa gross receipts tax. Kasi pag sinakyan ko, papuntang Canada, Philippine Airlines, zero rate. Diba? Sir, sinakyan ko papuntang Palawan, 12% domestic eh. Ito mga international carrier to or shipping carrier. Okay? Yung sales nila, hindi yan zero rate kahit papunta ng ibang bansa, VAT exempt. Bakit? Kasi nga, gross receipts tax yan. Yung franchise na TV, radio, na hindi lumampas ng 10 million, na hindi matigas ang ulo. Okay? At saka yung mga franchise grantees ng gas and water, subject sila sa franchise tax. Kaya VAT exempt yan. Meaning, yung Maynilad, hindi pwede mag-impose ng 12% VAT sa tubig. Bakit? VAT exempt kasi. Bakit? Kasi franchise tax sila, 2%. Clear? Yung mga overseas dispatch, if you're going to call somebody from the Philippines to a foreign country, tapos you are using your line, meaning your cell phone, yung mobile, no? Subject yan sa overseas communication tax. It is not subject to VAT. This is a form of other percentage tax. Tapos, insurance services, gross receipts tax din to. Minsan, ang tawag ng iba, premium tax. Okay, itong premium tax na to, other percentage tax din yan. Yung mga amusement places, mga sabungan, cabaret, no? Ito yung mga parang nightclub, club, boxing exhibitions, professional, etc., etc. Mga amusement place yan. Kung mapapansin mo mga kapatid, kaya sila amusement place ito ng inuman, sugal. Sugal. Okay? Tsaka yung entertainment ng professional boxing, etc. Okay? Yung mga stockbroker, subject sa transaction tax, which is other percentage tax. Very simple. So, which means all of these taxpayers cannot impose 12% VAT. They cannot register as VAT. Bakit? Non-VAT sila eh. Sila yung sinasabi natin na non-VAT na subject sa OPT. You see? Ito naman, kung ang agricultural sale of agricultural, importation of agricultural products is exempt, yung services na nire-render natin sa agricultural contract growers, 'di ba? Sabi natin kanina, yung mga agricultural contract growers, sila yung nagpo-produce at nagsusupply ng mga meat products sa mga sa mga fast food chains, sa mga supermarkets. Yung agricultural, ang sale nila sa mga supermarket and all, VAT exempt. Pero ikaw, nagre-render ka ng service sa kanila. Example, logistics company ka, ikaw yung nagta-transport. Yung sale mo sa kanila, sa mga agricultural contract growers, VAT exempt. Bakit? Mga agricultural products yan eh. Tapos yung milling, yung pag binanggit na natin to no sa definition ng gross sales. Kapag ito ay gilingan ng palay para maging bigas, yung mais para maging cornbread, yung tubo para maging raw sugar, yung bayad sa kanila sa mga gilingan na to, VAT exempt. Bakit sir? Tatandaan mo, ang mga tao, ang mga customers ay mga farmers. Okay? Kapag ang miller, gilingan ay hindi palay into rice, mais, hindi tubo, subject sa 12%. Okay, reminder lang to because na-touch natin to eh. Okay, eto naman. Yung mga medical, dental, hospital, and veterinary services, yung mga hospital fees, etc. Okay, are VAT exempt. Except those rendered by professionals. Ibig sabihin, if there are doctors, dentists, who provide, veterinarians who provide, they are self-employed. Okay, meaning they have their own office, you went to them, they provided these services, vatable yan kung VAT ang registration nila. Okay, pero kapag hospital to, yan ay VAT exempt. Okay, ang mga laboratory services, yung mga ECG, 2D echo, yung mga FBC, okay, blood counting, blood fasting, yung sugar, measurement, etc. Lahat yan laboratory service kasama x-ray. Exempt din yan sa VAT. Okay, yung hospital bill, exempt sa VAT. Ang hospital, ang clinic, kapag merong pharmacy or drugstore. Okay, the drugs and medicines are kapag inpatient. Ibig sabihin, ano sila, admitted sa hospital. Okay, na-confine sa probinsya. Kasama yung gamot sa hospital bill. Kaya VAT exempt. Pero kapag outpatient, gas-gas lang, hindi naman kailangang i-admit, yung mga gamot, subject to 12% VAT. Okay? Because according to the regulation, these are not part of medical services of the hospital. Kaya you just need to imagine. Okay? Now let's look at this scenario, services provided by the medical center or hospital. Itong taong to ay nagre-review sa board exam. Nagkakasakit na siya because of pressure. He was hospitalized and was confined. Ibig sabihin, admitted to the hospital for 1 week. The following are charges made by the medical center. Hospital bill, exempt. Other medical charges, exempt. Medical service yan. Doctors charges who are not employees, hindi yan part ng hospital service. Doktor ang nag-provide niyan. Laboratory service, exempt. Medicines, since admitted yan, exempt. Turn out, mga gandang balita, okay naman pala siya. Stress lang. Magkano yung vatable? O, di itong 50,000 times 12% yan, yan ang vatable. Very easy. Huwag ka lang magpapanik. There's another example, scenario number 2, and this one is provided by a professional. So, Nicanor is an obstetrician gynecologist and he has his own clinic. So, si Inday naman ang pasyente rito. Na hospital si Inday. Room service, professional yan, vatable. Okay? Professional fee, vatable. Laboratory service, exempt. Basta laboratory service, exempt yan. Medicines, bought from a drugstore, batable. Okay, so, siya okay naman pala. So, anong meron dito? Magkano yung VAT imposable? So, the room service, the professional fee, and the medicines totaling 110,000 is subject to 12%. See? Ganyan lang po kasimple. Now, what else? Ay, eto. Maganda to. Educational services, including online courses, okay, online services, dinagdag ito because of VAT on digital services law, no? At saka yung online subscription-based services, VAT exempt na yan. Basta yan ay educational service. Okay? So, yung mga ibang mga educational online learning materials, subscription-based, are not covered. So long as the educational institution is accredited by DepEd, CHED, and TESDA. And of course, those rendered by government educational institutions. So ito yung mga state universities and colleges. Alam niyo, madaling tandaan itong mga VAT exempt na to eh. Just to give you an idea. Kaya VAT exempt yan kasi hindi makatarungan na maging 12% ang mga yan. Hindi rin pwede maging zero rate kasi hindi naman export ng mga to, no? Kaya tignan mo kung makatarungan bang lagyan ng VAT. Example, yung mga meat products, agricultural products, marine food products. Do you think na makatarungan na maglagay ng 12% VAT yan? Hindi, kaya nga VAT exempt. Pilipino ka. Umuwi ka lang ng Pilipinas, dala-dala mo yung gamit mo. Alam ka naman magbayad ka VAT. Diba? Parang gano'n. Na-hospital ka. Alam ka naman may bayad ng 12% VAT yan. Kasi kung merong VAT ang 12 yung hospital. Aba, marami ng Pilipino ang hindi magpapa-check up. Kaya VAT exempt yan. Etong sa school. Isipin mo kung meron 12% VAT. Eh baka marami nang hindi mag-aral kaya hindi makatarungan. Oh, tapos bukod doon, bagsak na nga. Tapos alam ka namang iba't pa. Huwag masyadong masama ang loob. Okay, dito tayo. Services rendered by individuals pursuant to an employer-employee relationship. Diyos ko naman, syempre, natural. Yung sweldo ba ng the compensation, should it be subjected sa VAT? Aba, hindi makatarungan yan. Oh, ito naman, services rendered by regional area headquarters. Tandaan mo ha, meron tayong regional area headquarters at saka regional operating headquarters. Ang pagkakaiba, ito nag-ooperate. Kaya ito subject sa regular corporate income tax, subject din siya sa VAT. Pero kapag area, bakit siya area? Simple lang, Supervisory Communication Coordinating Center lang yan. Hindi yan nag-ooperate, not operating. Kaya, exempt yan sa income tax. Exempt din yan sa VAT. O, napakadaling tandaan. Basta area, not operating, VAT exempt, income tax exempt. Pag operating yan, natural nag-ooperate, edit, taxable yung income, vatable din yung sales. Ganyan lang kasimple. And regional area headquarters do not derive income from the Philippines. Bakit? Eh sir, nag-ooperate yan eh. O, yung paano yung mga sweldo na yan? Ang mga sweldo ng mga tao dyan, ang gastos ng regional area, nanggagaling sa head office, nire-reimburse lang, hindi nila income yan, kaya nga pa exempt. Kaya nga exempt sa income tax din. Easy. Ito naman, anong meron dito? Kanina, sa zero-rated sales, sinabi ng international agreement, sinabi ng special law, zero rate daw yon. Pero dito, ang sinabi ng international agreement, sinabi ng special law, VAT exempt daw. E di pag sinabi ng ganon, e di VAT exempt. Kaya nga depende lagi sa special law or international agreement how to treat a particular transaction. If it says zero rate, zero rate. If it says VAT exempt, VAT exempt. In the same manner, it is VAT exempt under paragraph K. O, ito naman. Nagbenta. O, titignan mo to. Ang nagbebenta, agricultural cooperative. O, tignan mo, agricultural cooperative. Bakit siya naging, yung sales niya, no? Ang seller is agricultural cooperative. So, what will make them exempt from VAT? Kailangan registered sila. Saan? CDA. kailangan they are a member in good standing. So, sir, how do we know if they are a member in good standing? Very simple. There is a certification being issued by the CDA that they are a member in good standing. Nagbenta sila. Kanino? Miyembro nila. O, ano yung mga binenta nila? Mga produce. Agricultural cooperative to eh. Yung mga gulay nila. O, produkto nila in a regional state or process form. Pag nagbenta ang agricultural product ng produce sa mga members and non-members, exempt. Bakit? Produce itong mga to eh. Ibig sabihin, agricultural product yan. Talagang VAT exempt yan. Pag sila ay nag-import din ng mga direct farm inputs, machineries and equipment, na gagamitin exclusively sa production and processing ng kanilang produce, halimbawa traktora, VAT exempt din ang importation. Pero kapag ang agricultural food cooperative na to ay nagbenta sa mga non-members, okay, pero ang binenta ay agricultural product, VAT exempt pa rin. Pero kapag ang kooperatiba, hindi sila yung producer, sila lamang ang nag-angkat, titignan mo kung ano yung inangkat nila. Okay? Kapag ang inangkat nila ay binenta sa mga miyembro, VAT exempt lagi, basta miyembro. Pero kapag hindi miyembro, vatable to. Pero kapag agricultural product yan, exempt pa din. Ganun lang kasimple. Okay? So who is an agriculture or what is an agriculture cooperative? Basically, that's the definition of it. Okay? So to summarize, basically, if the agri-cooperative is the producer, exempt, we're talking about a produce, an agricultural product. If they are not the producer, sale to members is exempt, sale to non-members is subject to 12% VAT. But if the object of sale is food product, agricultural, exempt pa rin yan. Okay? To both. Ito naman, lagay natin ng example. Agri-cooperative, CDA registered. Coconut farmers sila. Nagpo-produce ng cacao products. Binenta sa mga members and non-members. During the course of the importation operations, they imported machinery equipment to facilitate. Direct farm input yan. So what is the treatment of the sale by ABC to its members? Exempt. To non-members, exempt. Bakit? Agricultural product pa rin. Ayun. Yung treatment ng importation ng machineries, direct farm inputs yan. Di ba? Exempt. Easy. Let's go to this one. Okay. The agri-cooperative is registered. They are coconut farmers and producer of cacao products. It's produced members and non-members. Sorry, dito tayo. Assuming the cooperative is not the producer. And they just merely buy the products from cooperatives or farmers. The treatment of the sale to members, pag members, exempt. To non-members, exempt pa din kasi nga agricultural product. Pero kung halimbawa, t-shirt yan, upuan yan, sombrero yan, sombrero yan. Okay, ginawa ng mga farmers, binenta ng kooperatiba. Ano yan? Di 12% kung non-members. Easy. This one is gross sales from lending activities. Who? By credit or multipurpose cooperative. Okay, tingnan natin muna ang definition niyan. Kapag credit cooperative, basically, ang ginagawa ng kooperatiba, magpautang lang. Ginagamit yan financial assistance to members. Papautangin, tapos mababang interest lang. Kapag sinabi namang multipurpose cooperative, mayroong combination of two or more business. Example, itong cooperative na to, credit pa siya kasi nagpapautang. Tapos nagbebenta pa ng produkto. Yung mga tawag dito, souvenir products. Ang ginagawa nila, yung mga shells, yung kung ano-ano sa mga magagandang lugar, di ba? Multipurpose cooperative yan. Now, if this co-op credit or multipurpose cooperative ay nagpautang, okay, ang kanilang receipts, interest, income is exempt from VAT. Basta, good standing sila and registered with the CDO. Pero kapag ito ordinary lending investor yan, hindi yan bangko or non-bank financial intermediaries. Kasi yung mga bangko or non-bank financial intermediaries, gross receipts tax yun. Kapag lending investor na hindi bangko, 12% yan based sa kanilang interest income. Kapag microfinance NGO naman, they are subject to 2% gross sales tax, which is in lieu of all taxes. So, kita mo yun ha. Kapag tatandaan mo, halos yung grupo na yan nandito. Kapag bank, sorry, hindi natin isama, gross receipts tax yan. Yung mga interest income nila. Lending investors, vatable. Microfinance, nagpapautang sa mga maliliit na mga at taxpayers. They are only subject to 2% gross sale receipts tax. Okay? And it is in lieu of all other taxes. Easy. Pag cooperative, exempt. Pag miyembro, puntahan natin illustration. Correct. Alam niyo madaling ma-identify itong mga to eh. Kasi yung mga cooperative may pangalan. Nakalagay credit cooperative or multipurpose. O, di ba? So, ABC Credit Cooperative is an associated person who collects just from members. Pinapautang financial assistance at 1% rate. Now, tanong, how do we treat the interest income from its members? What exempt? Paano pag pinautang yung iba? The interest income is subject to 12% VAT. Again, the presumption is VAT ang registration nito. Okay? Pero kung non-VAT, natural, hindi subject sa 12% yan, VAT exempt. Ito naman, ang nagbenta, non-agricultural. Okay? Hindi siya agricultural, hindi siya credit, hindi rin siya electric. Registered under CDA and in good standing. And then there is a requirement of a threshold of capital contribution which should not exceed 15,000. Kahit na umabot pa yan ng 1 billion, okay lang. And net surplus ratably distributed among members. Okay? Kapag ang nag-import ng mga machineries and equipment ay non-agricultural, non-electric, non-cooperative, subject ito sa 12% VAT. Okay, example lang, non-agricultural, non-electric, non-credit cooperative, ito. Employees cooperative. Okay, so yung mga regular members are being required to pay a membership fee of 10,000 pesos. So capital contribution nila yan. Ito yung hindi lalampas ng 15,000. Okay, so the co-op maintains a canteen and mini grocery. In-operate yung canteen para sa mga miyembro para hindi na lumabas, tsaka para murang pagkain. Okay, may tindahan. The revenues are used for the benefit of the members. So there's no problem with that. Now, what is the treatment? Yung benta ng canteen sa mga miyembro, what exempt? Paano pag merong hindi, mga miyembro na bumili? Vatable, 12%. Ganun lang kasimple, itong mga transactions na ganito. Okay, dito naman, okay. Di ba kanina, export sales, kapag VAT registered, the export sales is zero rate. If the taxpayer, the seller, is not a VAT registered entity, aba, VAT exempt yan. Let's go to the illustration. Scenario 1, sellers engage in business. Si Nicanor ay non-VAT, percentage tax siya. Nagbenta ng goods, nag-export siya. Kasi merong bumili sa kanya, sa Pilipinas, sa ibang bansa. No? Binayad $1,000. Even if the payment is in foreign currency, this is not zero-rated sales. This is VAT exempt. Bakit? Kasi non-VAT ang seller. Now, another scenario, the seller is not engaged. Okay, example nito, yung illustration natin. You are just an employee. Okay, and then there's a non-resident citizen who buys from us. Oy, luto mo naman ako dito. Bibiling ko yan, babayaran kita. Dollars. So, ano yung treatment ng export sale mo? VAT exempt. Why? Because you are a non-VAT taxpayer. Very simple lang yan. But again, if you're a VAT seller, zero-rated yan. Okay, ito naman, another illustrations or items that are VAT exempt, no? Sale of real properties. Okay, ano itong mga to? Number 1, capital asset ito. Kapag binenta ang isang capital asset, ano nga yung capital asset? Anong sabi natin? Not sulit. 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 Kapag ang isang asset ay for sale, used in business, it is for lease, it is part of the inventory, or there is depreciation. Okay, there's no depreciation. Not for sale, not used, not for lease, not part of the inventory. There's no depreciation. Then the asset is capital. But if it is solid, the asset is for sale, used, lease, it's part of the inventory, there's depreciation, ordinary asset yan. So kapag ordinary asset, vatable to. Pero kapag capital asset ang binenta, VAT exempt yan. Very easy. Okay? Kapag ang real property ay utilized for low cost, subject na to sa 12% VAT beginning January 1, 2029. Napakalungkot. Alam nyo, when TRIM law became effective in 2018, I was a speaker at PICPA. I've been telling everyone that this is wrong to add 12% VAT for low-cost housing. Why? If you are a Filipino, of course, you are dreaming of having your own home. So, ang kaya lang ng budget mo, mga low cost. Tapos, eto, vinat na ngayon yan. So, instead of you like saving money, you need to pay 12% more. If you are the buyer. Kasi si seller, sigurado, ikakarga sa atin yan eh. Okay? So, ngayon, subject sa 12% na yung low cost. Are exempt. Dati, exempt. Ngayon, subject na. Beginning January 1, 2021. Pero yung mga socialized housing, VAT exempt pa rin yan. Okay? Meron threshold yan. Yung mga threshold. Tapos, sale of residential house and lot. House and lot to ha. And other dwellings like condominiums. Ang value niyan ay hindi lalampas ng 3.6 million. Okay, beginning January 1, 2024. Kasi ang threshold before, it was lower, 3,199,200. Now, it's 3.6 million ha. So, which means, kung ako ay subdivision developer, realtor, binenta ko ang bahay at lupa, 3.6 lang. VAT exempt. 3.7. Yung buo, times 12% na. Bakit? Lampas na sa threshold. Pag ang binenta ay parking lot, tingnan mo kung sino may-ari ng parking lot. Who is the seller? If realtor developer or seller, ordinary asset ang parking lot, 12%. Okay, regardless of the amount. Kasi itong 3.6, house and lot lang to ginagamit. So yung parking lot, kahit 100,000 lang yan, 12% yan. But if the seller is not engaged, therefore, ordinary asset yung parking lot. Exempt yan sa VAT. Tapos, capital gains tax ang sale. Okay? So, ayan, low cost housing nga, hindi na VAT exempt. Nakakalungkot. Yan. Let's look at this example. ABC Corp is not a developer or realtor. As the term suggests, may pangalan eh. Meron siyang lupa, binenta niya 5 million selling price. Okay. Anong treatment yan? VAT exempt. So, capital asset to. So, ibig sabihin, CGT rin yan. Kung sakasakali. ABC Realty. Kapag realty, lahat ng real property, ordinary asset. So, ito, ordinary asset yan. Creditable withholding tax yan. Tapos, since ito ay idle land, hindi naman bahay at lupa yan. Okay, di, 12% yan. Lupa lang yan eh. Ito naman, realty. So, developer yan. Meron siyang inventory. Ordinary asset yan. CWT pag binenta. O, di ngayon, ano pa? Ngayon, 12% na. Bakit? Kasi dati, kahit lupa lang, VAT exempt yan. Okay? Beginning January 1, 2021, basta lupa lang yan ha, vatable na. Ito naman, realty. Developer siya. So, ordinary asset yan, yung house and lot. House and lot to, 3 million lang daw. Hindi lampas ng 3.6. VAT exempt. Ito naman, house and lot, 3.5. Hindi lampas ng 3.6. VAT exempt. Pero dati, alam nyo ba, since 3,199,200 lang, vatable yan dati. Pero ngayon, since 3.6 na, tandaan mo, 3.6 ang threshold. VAT exempt. Ito naman, realty. Low cost housing siya. Ordinary asset yan. Ano meron dyan? Vatable na ngayon. Realty company, socialized housing. Socialized. Exempt. Condo ito, condo binibenta. Residential. Lampas ba ng 3.6? Hindi. Ba't exempt? Lampas ba ng 3.6? Hindi. Ba't exempt? Ito, parking lot ang binenta. Ordinary asset yan. Kung ordinary asset, batable lahat. Lessor ito. Lessor ng parking lot. Ordinary asset, batable yan. Ito, hindi siya lessor. Capital asset yan. Ano yan? Ba't exempt? Easy. Ganyan lang kasimple ito. Now, let's go to list of residential units. Tandaan mo residential units ang pinapaupa. We're talking about VAT exempt transactions, strictly concerned lagi sa taxpayer. Okay, residential unit yan. Tapos, ang monthly rental unit ay hindi dapat lalampas ng 15,000. Regardless of the aggregate rental, ibig sabihin, kapag ang rental ay hindi lampas ng 15,000, kahit umabot pa ng 1 billion yan, VAT exempt pa rin yan. So, let's look at this illustration. Tignan mo kaagad ang monthly rental. Pero syempre, siguraduhin mo na residential unit yan. Ang tanong, lampas ba ng 15,000? Kapag less than or equal to, did not exceed, matik, exempt sa VAT, exempt sa percentage tax. Ganun lang kasimple. Huwag mo nang tignan to. Sir, paano pag VAT ang registration? VAT exempt. Sir, paano pag non-VAT? VAT exempt. At saka percentage tax exempt. Paano pag lumampas ng 15,000? Kapag lumampas ng 15,000, kailangan na nating tignan magkano yung total. Lampas ng 3 million ang annual, di batable. Hindi lampas ng 3 million, di percentage tax. Kaya ito yung key is for you to look at how much is the monthly rental. Below 15,000, exempt sa lahat. VAT and percentage. Lampas, tignan mo yung total annual. Lampas ng 3 million, batable. Hindi lampas, percentage tax. Easy. Now, let's go to this one. No? In lease, the advance payment by the lessee may be the following. Of course, the lessor may ask, sige, pautangin kita, paupa mo sa akin yung pwesto mo. Ito yung option money, security deposit, prepaid rental. Yan ang pwedeng ibayad. Tanong, alin muna yung mga hindi subject sa VAT? Natural yung utang, hindi yan batable. Yung option money, hindi rin. Yung security deposit, may restriction. Hindi in-apply sa rental. Hindi yan VAT exempt. Pero yung mga prepaid rents na merong invoice, in consideration of EOPT, pag na-invoice na yan, kahit advance payment, vatable na yan. Pero kapag acknowledgement receipt lang ang binigay or any other supplementary document, the 12% VAT applies only or accrues only upon accrual. Okay, yung mga security deposit applied to rental are, of course, subject to 12% VAT already. Okay, now let's go back here. List of commercial units ni residential lang yung kanina. Ito commercial. Kahit magkano pa yan, vatable yan. Unless non-VAT ang registration natin. Kapag naman ang lessor ay merong several residential units, for lease, tignan mo lang magkano yung rental. Pag merong not exceeding, VAT exempt. Kapag merong more than 15,000, titignan natin ang gross. Kung lalampas ng 3 million, vatable. Kung hindi lalampas, VAT exempt. Ganun lang kasimple yan. Paulit-ulit tayo. Okay? Just have to remember. Now, kapag meron namang mixed transactions, apply the rule. Ito yon, yung pinapa-apply. This rule. Okay? Now, ano ba yung residential units? What can be the object of lease? Mga apartments, mga bahay, okay, house and lot, mga buildings, parts, dorm, room, bed space, etc. Hindi kasama ang mga motel-hotel dito, lodging houses. Kasi hindi yan talaga residential unit. Grabe naman, residential unit, di ba? Okay. Yung unit naman, mga apartment unit, house, kung mga houses yan, etc. Okay. Now, let's look at this illustration. Anong sabi ko sa iyo? Tignan mo ito. Lampas ba ng 15,000? Hindi. VAT exempt. tsaka PT exam. Lampas ba? Hindi, di VAT exempt. Lampas ba? Lampas ba? Oo, tingnan ang total. Lampas ng 3 million, hindi. Di PT. Lampas ng 3 million, oo. Di VAT, easy. Let's look at this illustrations, no? True or false statement tayo. ABC Corp lessor nagparenta ng to commercial. So, vatable transaction 'yan. 10 residential units ang rent ng commercial is 60,000. 15,000 per unit. Lampas ba yung residential? Hindi. VAT exempt yung residential. During the taxable year, sa cumulative gross sales amounted to 3.240. Lumampas ng 3 million. Pero 1.4 sa commercial, 1.8 sa residential. So ito, alam mo na dapat na VAT at saka percentage tax exempt yan. Okay, tanong. Yung 1.4 ba is not subject to VAT since it did not exceed 3 million. So i-relate natin to sa registration. The answer is, since hindi naman lalampas ng 3 million to, percentage tax. Ang registration nito, therefore, subject sa, hindi to subject sa VAT. VAT exempt siya kasi 3% percentage tax yan. Statement 2, subject ba siya sa 3%? Kakasabi ko pa lang pala. Statement 3, yung 1.8 million dito sa residential units are not subject to percentage tax. Is it true? And exempt din ba siya sa VAT? Oo. Kakasabi ba lang, tignan mo lang yung total kaagad, yung monthly. Dito naman, basta nagbenta or nag-import ng libro, newspaper, magazine, bulletin, VAT exempt yan. Okay, whether in electronic or printed form, VAT exempt yan. Okay, ang conditions lang dyan, ayan, covered by the UNESCO Agreement, Importation of Educational Scientific. Okay, dapat hindi yan, the materials are not devoted to the publication of paid advertisements. Biruin mo, libro, o kaya newspaper, ang first page na yung front page, alangan namang advertisement yan. Vatable, kung sakasakali. Okay, dapat compliant yan sa requirements set forth under National Book Development Board. Okay, eto naman, transport of passengers by international carrier. Tayo ay papunta, si Nicanor, papuntang Canada, magmamigrate na. Bumili ng ticket. Okay, titignan mo kung anong sinakyan. Kung ang sinakyan ay international, VAT exempt. Kung ang sinakyan ay PAL, zero rate. So, sumakay ng Air Canada, VAT exempt. Sumakay ng PAL, zero rate, di ba? Di ba? Napakasimple na ito. Dito naman tayo. We're talking about sale. We're talking about importation or lease ng mga barko, eroplano, pati mga engines, lahat yan, mga kapatid, VAT exempt. Okay? But these are subject to restrictions on importation under Marina, by Marina. Okay? Ito naman, kanina, di ba? Meron tayong sale, zero-rated sales to, remember. Sale of raw materials, supplies, fuel, to persons engaged. Nagbebenta tayo ng gasolina, ng mga etc. sa mga persons engaged in international shipping. The sale is zero rate. So itong mga international carrier na to, instead na bumili sa atin, nag-import na lang ng gasolina, ng goods and supplies. Ayaw nila yun sa Pilipinas. Ano yung sale? Ano yung importation nila? VAT exempt. Diba? So, ganyan yan. So, ito, ikaw to. Yan. Bumili sa'yo yung Air Canada. Air Canada to. Air Canada. Pag bumili siya sa'yo, ikaw sale mo, siya purchase niya. Pag bumili siya sa'yo, zero rate ka kung VAT exempt ka. So instead na bumili, nag-import na lang sa Canada yung importation niya sa Pilipinas ng gasolina, good supplies, VAT exempt yan. Okay? Yung mga bangko, services by banks. Example, nag-open ka ng bank account, ng bank deposit. Yung mga services by non-bank financial intermediaries, etc. Including those rendered through digital platforms such as money changers and pawn shops. Yung digital platform example, yung yung mga bank mobile app yan ha. Bank mobile app. Services yan ng mga banks. Yung mga services by banks are VAT exempt. Bakit? Kasi yung income nila are subject to gross receipts tax, which is other percentage tax. Okay? Biruin mo, sabi ko nga sa'yo, common sense lang din minsan eh. Hindi makatarungan na maglagay ng VAT sa mga services ng banks kasi mag-open ka lang ng bank account. Alam ka naman magbayad ka ng 12% VAT. Diba? Mag-aano ka lang, magwi-withdraw ka lang. Alam nga namang meron 12% VAT. Magba-balance inquiry ka lang, knowing that there is really no balance on your bank deposit and then there will be VAT on such services. Hala. Kaya exempt yan. And the reason why it's exempt is because any income from these services are being subjected to gross receipts tax, which is OPT. Okay? Ito naman, alam nyo, redundant. Meron na tayong batas sa senior citizen PWD. Pero nilagay nila, if there is a sale or lease of goods and services to senior citizens PWD, VAT exempt yan. Okay? So, ayan, balikan mo lang yung handout natin for senior citizens and PWD under discounts na material. Ito naman, we call this tax-free exchanges, transfer of property under Section 40C2, no? These are tax-free exchanges, which means a particular person exchanges his property, or if it's a corporation, its property for shares of stocks. So when is a tax-free exchange applicable? If there's a transfer to a controlled corporation, if there's a merger or consolidation, and if there's a transfer property to a corporation by a person in exchange for stock or unit of participation in such corporation. Ito yung mga common, number 3. Let's go to the illustration. Si Nicanor ay meron pagmamayaring agricultural land. Ang halaga ay 1,000,000. Si corporation gustong bilhin, pero ayaw ni Nicanor. So the corporation really wanted to acquire the land, and so instead of just buying, because Nicanor is not willing to sell, they offered Nicanor, sige, gusto mo bigyan ka na lang namin ng shares of stocks. Pag kumita ang company, tatanggap ka ng dividendo. So sabi niya, no? So technically, ikaw pa rin may-ari because you have, control over the corporation. And so, Nicanor agreed. There is a requirement of control, ibig sabihin 51% yan. Kapag hindi yan 51%, this is not considered as tax-free exchange. Kaya nga siya tax-free eh. Kaya nga siya exchange eh. It's because yung lupa mo parang ginawa lang shares of stocks. If you don't have any control of the corporation, then you don't have any control over the land. Okay, now, tanong. Is the transfer of real property by Nicanor to the corporation subject to CGT? Effectively, transfer or exchange to. Exempt. Bakit? Tax-free exchange nga eh. Is the transfer of shares of stocks by ABC subject to corporate capital gains tax? Remember, ABC Corp will be issuing shares of stocks. Is it subject to CGT in exchange for the land of Nicanor? No! Bakit? Tax-free exchange nga eh. Number 3, is the transfer subject to documentary stamp tax? Remember, in sale, barter, exchange of real property or shares of stocks, merong doc stamp yan. But in tax-free exchange, it is subject to DST. The answer is no. Why? Tax-free exchange nga eh. Kung baka pinalitan mo lang yung lupa mo ng shares of stocks. In the same manner, the corporation merely disposed shares of stocks in consideration of the land. Eh, papaano? Ano yung treatment naman for VAT? Exempt pa rin. Bakit? Tax-free exchange nga eh. Kaya wag mo kakalimutan itong mga to. Alam nyo, para sa akin, ito dapat ang mga tinatanong sa board exam. Now, let's go to association dues, membership fees, and other assessments and charges collected by homeowners associations and condominium corporations. Yung mga kusa, are common part of the charges, no? Yung KUSA is common use service area. So when I say KUSA, it's like this. This is a condominium, ground floor. Yung ground floor, basically, nobody owns it. Yung mga hallway, yung sa elevator na area na yan, common use service area yan. No member owns those properties. Kaya nga yung pagme-maintain ng mga yan, pati yung area, yung mga guard, etc., yan ay binabayaran ng mga miyembro. So yung payment na yan, mga kapatid, is exempt. So let's go to illustration to make it easier to understand, no? ABC Corp, ito ay homeowners association, condo. Nangongolekta ng association dues. Yung membership fee, kung bagong lipat ka, magbabayad kang membership fee. Bukod doon, merong monthly association dues and other charges. Ginagamit itong pera na to for payment of security fees, yung waste management para hindi mabulok, yung ating mga basura, siguradong may magtatapon, at saka to maintain the common dakusa, no? Mga lilinisin yung mga lobby and all. Okay, ang tanong, ang association dues subject ba sa income tax? Hindi. Basta yan ay gagamitin for the benefit of the members. Exempt yan. Kapag ang mga dues ba, subject to VAT? Aba, under train law, exempt na yan. Kasi dati, prior to train law, vinat yan nung dating commissioner na hindi na natin babanggitin ng pangalan. Okay? Yung membership fee, exempt din. Bakit? We're talking about membership fees for the benefit of the members. Okay? Exempt both from income tax and the VAT. Okay? What else? Sale of gold to Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Alam nyo ba? Dati, ang sale of gold to BSP, zero rate yan. Pero nagtataka mga tao, paano magiging zero rate yan? Mukhang di naman export sale yan. Kaya anong ginawa? VAT exempt. Tingnan mo to. Kapag ang binenta mo sa ay gold, ay hindi sa BSP, 12%. So, pati yun sa mga black market, dapat nga yun ang, basta hindi BSP ang buyer mo, vatable yan. Pag BSP ang buyer mo, VAT exempt. Sir, ba't hindi naman hinuhuli yung iba? Yun na nga. Diba? Dapat yan, paghuhulihan yung mga yan kasi vatable ang transactions ng mga yan Alam mo ba, pag nagbenta ka ng gold sa BSP, exempt din yan sa income tax, exclusion. Diba? Kaya madali yung gain from the sale of gold, but exempt sa income tax, exclusion, exempt din sa VAT. Kaya madaling yung tandaan. Ito naman, mga kapatid, gamot, mga VAT exempt. Gamot sa diabetes, mataas na cholesterol, hypertension, yung matataas. Tatandaan mo lang, yung matataas. Mataas ang sugar, mataas ang cholesterol, mataas ang blood pressure, matataas, VAT exempt. Tapos yung matitinding mga sakit, matindi. Okay, cancer, mental illness, tuberculosis, kidney disease. Kaso ang problema, walang heart dito ha. Yung heart disease, mga kapatid, proposal pa lang yan. Proposal. So, eto, vatable pa rin yan hanggang ngayon. Okay, cancer, mental illness, tuberculosis, yan lang yung mga VAT exempt. Okay, panahon ng pandemic, drugs and medicines related to COVID-19, medical devices are exempted. Since ito ay nag-expire na, vatable na. Okay? Ayan din yun, related to COVID-19 din to. Subject to 12% VAT na beginning January 1, 2024 because the law has provided for an expiration. Okay? Sa mga COVID ha, vatable. Now, so, vatable na lahat to. Vatable na. Okay, old treatment to old treatment. But now, the importation, 12%, 12%, okay, 12% na lahat yan. Expired na kasi ang batas. Tignan mo to, no? BB yan, BB. Alam nyo, nung nag-expire to, dapat tinanggal na sa listahan yan. Expired na eh. Hindi na yan VAT exempt eh. Dapat tinanggal sa listahan. Okay? Eh, hindi tinanggal. Kaya hanggang ngayon, BB pa rin yun. Ito yung CC. Ang CC ay very simple. Siya yung hindi lumampas na 3 million na hindi matigas ang ulo. Kaya siya exempt sa VAT kasi subject ito sa percentage tax na 3%. They cannot impose, the seller or the lessor cannot impose 12% VAT on the sale. Why? Because they are subject to 3% percentage tax. Ito yung hindi matigas ang ulo. Sale or services of goods and properties or performance of services other than those mentioned in the preceding paragraphs. Bakit? Anong ibig sabihin? Yung paragraph A, 2, BB, mula kanina. Okay? Yun ay mga VAT exempt talaga. Kahit lumampas ka pa ng 3 million, exempt pa rin yun. Pero ito, kapag nagbenta siya or nagpaupa siya ng goods or properties at lumampas siya ng 3 million, siya yung nagiging mandatory. Yung CC. Pero yung from A to BB, kahit lampas pa ng 3 million yan, hindi yan pwede mag-VAT. Kasi VAT exempt yung kanilang mga transactions. Ngayon, ito yung nilagay sa EOPT. The 3 million is subject to adjustment every 3 years. Tingnan mo ha. Sana gawin ito ng BIR at saka Department of Finance because mababa na yung 3 million na threshold. Okay, so ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng 3 million na gross sales? Aba, tingnan mo ito. The 3 million is gross sales. Alam mo na yan. Pero tingnan mo to. It shall comprise of business total revenues from sales of its products, which are either goods or services. So this is actually the selling price. We call it the gross sales. Part of the gross sales is the non-refundable deposits na in-issuean natin ng invoice. Na-issuean niya ng invoice. At tingnan mo yung number 3, net of discounts, returns and allowances. Diba sa accounting, pag binawas natin ang returns, allowances and discounts, nagiging net sales yan. Pero dito, for taxation purposes, yung 3 million na to, net of returns, allowances, and discounts. So which means, kapag ang gross sales niyan, 3.1 million, pero merong returns, allowances, and discounts na 200,000, net sales natin to, 2.9 million. Tanong, is this taxpayer required to be registered as VAT? The answer is no. Bakit? Kasi yung 2.9 gross sales yan for the purpose of the VAT threshold. Hindi kasi sila lumampas. You see? Grabe, no? Tapos, kasama yung incidental transactions. Meaning, example, ang gross sales lang natin, 2.5 million from sale of goods and services. Ngayon, nagbenta tayo ng truck, 1 million ang selling price. Is the 1 million selling price of the truck, which is an incidental transactions, part of the gross sales? The answer is yes. Kaya yung mga nagtatanong sa akin dati, nag-VAT lang sila percentage tax eh. Tapos sabi nila, sir, magbebenta kami ng truck eh. Magkano? Sabi ko, ganon. Ang tanong nila, part ba yung gross sales? The answer is yes. Ayun o. Dito tayo, bagong-bago din to. Create more. Okay. Pag nag-import ng goods directly attributable to export activity, ang mga export-oriented enterprise. Sino nga itong mga to? Yung export sales nila, at least 70% of total annual production. Kapag sila yung nag-import ng mga produkto or goods that will be directly attributable to the export activity, exempt sa VAT. Bagong-bago lang to. Example, yung kanina, yung example natin na yung ang company, export-oriented enterprise, gumagawa ito ng ng rattan products like chairs and tables. Wala nang kahoy dito, wala nang rattan. In-import na lang sa ibang bansa. Di yung importation niya, VAT exempt. Basta, again, directly attributable. Gagamitin sa paggawa ng upuan and tables. Okay? So, remember, brothers and sisters, if a person is exempt from VAT under Section 1091, CC. Yung CC, yung hindi matigas ang ulo. Okay? Of the tax code from the payment of VAT and who is not a VAT registered person, ibig sabihin ng VAT ang registration. Ang babayaran lang yan, 3%. 3%. Okay? Old 1%. Nung pandemic kasi naging 1%. Paki-correct na lang po yan. Okay? Now, under train law, it was clarified also that cooperatives are exempt from percentage tax. Exempt na sila sa VAT, di ba? Kung VAT ang registration nila. Tapos, exempt din sila sa percentage tax kung non-VAT ang registration nila. Tapos, yung mga self-employed na gumamit ng 8%, remember, hindi na sila exempted sila sa pagbabayad ng 3% percentage tax. Okay? The rates during pandemic of the percentage tax is 1%. Kaya nga siya corporate rehabilitation. Okay? Kasi para makabawi yung mga taxpayers sa pandemic. So that is VAT exempt transactions. Very easy. Okay, so I hope somehow I was able to give clarity, on these types of transactions. Okay, bye-bye.